All right, guys, do a little recap on the Eastern Washington football game, Florida Gators. Final stats, I'm going to go over that first, and then I kind of did a play by play thoughts throughout the game. Kidna, 8 of 12 for 152 yards and a touchdown, zero interceptions. Really thought he looked great. Really good spin on the ball, accurate passer, just a good thrower of the football. I mean, I'm fine with the future with Kitna at quarterback. He looks like a guy that could step in wearing that number 11. I think he represented that number well. Man, he almost reminiscent of Kyle Trask out there slinging the football around. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, I thought Kitten looked like Kyle Trask out there throwing the football. And I know y'all probably gonna rip me for this, but look, he looked more accurate than AR did in the game. AR just seems like guys are really having to stretch out to grab balls in the air. So I just thought he looked more accurate. He was putting it right in the breadbasket. I mean, over the shoulder throws, just throws a dime. I mean, just and again, that doesn't mean he's a better quarterback overall than AR, but definitely more accurate and a better thrower, I think, than he is at this stage in his experience. But yeah, so he had a touchdown. AR 8 of 10, only threw 10 passes the entire game. That's because we were scored in less than 2 plays on almost every drive. So 8 of 10 for 240 yards. Nice day for him. 2 touchdowns. Another interception, which was ugly. The kid's got more interceptions than touchdowns still. So still a ways to go before we crown him any kind of Heisman type contender. That was way too far ahead. Just overhyped before the season started. I mean, he's still got some things he needs to work out. He looked good during the game. Again, it's Eastern Washington. I don't know how much we can take away from that. But he's definitely progressing and getting better, I think, each week. Just got to stop. He's had a turnover every game. He's got to cut these turnovers out. That's not going to cut it against Georgia and SEC defenses, even Missouri's defense. They're going to feast on us next week. They got some true elite linebackers at Missouri. Tyrone Hopper's there, and the kid is a stud. He balled out against Georgia. That is a huge loss for the Gators. Him transferring, that kid would have helped Florida so much this year in run support and in coverage too. He can run sideline to sideline and cover, fill the gap, fill the hole. He's just a really good linebacker. He played a heck of a game against Georgia the other day. Rushing the ball, Persall had 1 carry for 76 yards. That's been missing from the offense. A lot of new wrinkles showed up today. I thought that was really impressive. Finally, we've been screaming for some of this stuff, and it's almost like he's listening to us. Persall gets the ball in his hands on an end around, scores a touchdown. Lingard had 5 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown. I thought he looked nice toting the ball. Again, had more rushing yards than any of the other running backs, and he had a touchdown. I really don't understand why the kid can't get reps ahead of Naquan Wright, who looks slow and just same old predictable stuff. Running the ball, has the lowest yard per average rush on the team. Just not explosive. He's just not a great running back. I do like him out of the backfield, but AR had a carry for 45 yards. He looked like he was kind of out of gas on that run there at the end. These guys all looked a little tired today at times. Cramps showed up in this game big time, which was shocking for Florida. I had more guys cramping up than Eastern Washington. I thought that was just a little odd. I don't want to say concerning or anything, but it was just weird. Battle, a walk on, had 2 carries for 32 yards. Naquan Wright, 7 carries for 27 yards, 3.9 average. Again, just atrocious. Had 1 touchdown. Um, Offensive line to me did not get a great push today. It just really didn't. A lot of those big runs were AR making something happen. Lingard, I thought, ran well. Persall that kid's a burner. He's got amazing speed. It's a little disappointing that we waited till now to give him the ball on a rushing, gadget play. He should have already run 3 or 4 of these plays this year alone. I don't really understand why it's so hard. That wasn't like a complex design. So that I just don't get it. Again, another question mark. Johnson, 5 carries for 24 yards, but a 4.8 average and another touchdown for Johnson. He looked good running the ball, I thought. Again, the offensive line was not that impressive today to me. They pass block extremely well, but they're just not getting a push anymore. It seems like they're regressing in the run game. Even though we had some big yardage today, it was spread out over a lot of guys, and it was more just Eastern Washington wearing out towards as the game went on. ETN had only 4 carries for 22 yards. Like I said, none of the backs put up great numbers. He was 5.5 yard average. That's a good That is a good average yard per carry. So again, the numbers shake out with ETN the best, yard per carry, and Johnson and Wright. For some reason, keeps seeing the field as much as he does. I hate the running back rotation. I wish it would stop. It's still evenly split between all of them. Actually, Wright had 7 carries to Johnson's 5 and ETN's 4. Tell me how that makes any sense, guys. This needs to stop. I mean, this staff, that part of this staff to me is a head scratcher. I don't know why the running back by committee approach is a must have in football. I don't get it. I don't care about the wear and tear. I care about results on the field, and y'all do too. So I don't know why they're doing it. I mean, if we can see it on TV, it's not that hard. It has to be a play thing, pass blocking, like pass pro, or just knowing what to do when they're on the field. That's the only thing I can come up with. Maybe Linger just not good at that, but he looked just fine to me out there, rushing 5 times for 45 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, he may not know the playbook, but why can't he get 5 carries a game like these other guys, and just get out there and put him in running situations? They're not going to know what he's out there to do when you're mixing the backs up that much. Joseph, another walk on, had 2 carries, 5 yards. So I mean, we had one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 guys touch the ball today, on a running play, which is just incredible. Flip pages here real quick. Wide receivers, Justin Shorter. Like I said, passing game was there all day. I mean, we're shredding it now in the passing attack. I love it. The routes are getting more complex. We're running more complex route trees. So the receivers were open all day long, getting separation. We hit the play action, hit a couple deep shots. Shorter had that bomb from AR that was just an absolute cannon. Shorter, 1 catch, 75 yards and a touchdown. Dejon Reynolds. A lot of these numbers are down because the backups were in by the third quarter. Dejon Reynolds, 2 catches for 74 yards. I don't know why he's not seeing the field more than he has. Caleb Douglas, a catch for 62 yards and a touchdown. Zipper, 2 catches for 47 yards. Hendo, 2 for 40. Again, seeing snaps over other guys I think that could produce more than him. 2 catches, 40 yards and a touchdown. Um, again, fifth on the team in receiving yards, and he's a starter. I thought the twos, in a lot of ways, on defense and offense today, looked better than the ones in a lot of situations. So again, evaluation needs to be happening. Hopefully, this is going to translate to guys getting more reps over some of the starters and some of the seniors. Witt had a catch for 23 yards per solid catch. Um, 22 yards. Jackson, 1 catch, 20 yards. Lingered, 1 catch for 15 yards. Another note here, running backs got involved in the passing game today. I was really happy to see them getting balls out in the flats. They need to do a better job catching the ball, planting their foot and going, getting forward progress instead of trying to juke somebody out, or trying to. A couple times the first down was right there if they just fell forward instead of trying to get side to side. Naquan Wright a catch for 14 yards. Again, he was open on that wheel route. Mullen used to shred defenses with that wheel route, so we need to put that back in our passing attack. Johnson had a catch for a yard, and Etienne a catch for a yard. Pouncey had a catch. Again, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guys caught a ball today, guys. That's good to see the quarterbacks spread the ball out. That means they're reading the field well, going through their progression. So all these things are really good signs that the team is starting to progress. Eastern Washington, I know they're 1-2. Eastern Washington's been a 10-win, type of team for many seasons. They've been a very successful team in their conference. They're an air raid offense. So they were going to come in and test this defense today, and they did. I mean, Billy Napier said at halftime or after the game, we played a bend but don't break defense, which is sad to hear someone say that when we're playing Eastern Washington. I don't think the defense looked great today, in my opinion. I thought there was some bright spots and just a lot of question marks still, and a lot of suspect coverage. Again, I know somebody disagree with me, but the back end did not look great today. I thought they threw a lot of balls, completed way too many passes for a team of this caliber against an SEC defense. And these are our ones that were out there that were getting, first down after first down. They were converting. I mean, they were driving the ball on us. They just wore out, because we have more depth and we're a more talented team, which is the way it should be. But that should have been a 50-something to 3 score at the end there. Even with the threes in, there's no excuse to let up like that and allow them to score 17 points. Kick return, ETN, he had one kick return for 24 yards. Again, I like him in the return game. Hendo, more pedestrian numbers, 3 returns for 23 yards and a fumble, a 7.7 yard average. I don't know why there's nobody else on the team that can do that job, but guess they know something we don't. Tackles. I'm not going to go huge into the defensive stats here, but I'm just going to start. This is kind of going to tell the story of what I just said about the defense. Your top tacklers on your team every game should not be all your safeties. That is the last person. That means people are getting big chunk yardage on you, and your safeties are having to keep an explosive play from happening. So Rashad Torrance, 5 tackles, 5 assisted. Bernie had 3 assists and a sack. I thought he played decent today. Kamari Wilson, 3 tackles, 2 assists. I thought the safeties played a damn good game. I think the safeties, the young guys, McMillan 3 and 2 assists. Black had 3 tackles. I don't know why he can't see the field. Napier made an odd comment on the SEC teleconference that it sounded like there was things going on outside of getting the playbook and maybe off the field situations where he's just not buying into the program or doing what he's supposed to do to get on the field. Hopefully we can see him get in there because, man, he gave it his all and it looked like he was banged up a few times. But yeah, I think we got enough depth at safety to basically put Dean on the bench for the year. If he's back out there starting or getting the majority snaps going forward, there's something wrong with the defensive staff and their evaluations. I don't know what they're seeing that makes them think he's the best safety on the team. Again, one of your top tacklers was Dakota Mitchell, 2 and 2. So you had 4 safeties, top tacklers on the team today, guys. That's not good. That's not going to cut it against better teams, better competition. This is one of the worst defenses in the country this year, in every statistical category. And again, today it wasn't an impressive. The score did not really tell the whole story. That team moved the ball on us very well, so it's super disappointing. Now I'm going to get into kind of my play-by-play thoughts during the game. So the first quarter, Zipper has the nice catch. Improved involvement with the tight ends, more involved, had that 75-yard bomb on the offense. Looks the same, as Tennessee. The passing game still progressing well, running more complex route trees and routes. Guys are getting open. The passing game is starting to excel, and the running game is regressing. Running back looks, the zone scheme works well with the guys that know how to run it, like ETN and Montreal Johnson. You can tell that Naquan Wright's not used to a zone scheme, and I think that's why he's also struggling. Montreal does it the best, though. Defense was terrible in the beginning of the game. Couldn't get off the field. The ones, 1st and 2, 7 of 8 for 77 yards for their quarterback to start the game. And the DBs were kind of picked on, I thought, in the secondary, not great. Eastern Washington should not throw on us the way they were throwing on that defense. That was just atrocious to see that. I thought Anthony, like I said, looked out of gas on that one run, which was odd for him because he's a burner. I think maybe he just had a long week, with the hurricane. I think these guys were just a little mentally drained in some ways, which you got to feel for that. We're praying for the people in South Florida. Again, second quarter, Naquan Wright starts, again, which is just atrocious. Not a good sign with that rotation. Naquan runs, Wright just for a pass, and it was a bad pass. Love the wheel route, though. The route, new wrinkle in the offense with that wheel route. I love that development in the offense. Zip again on a big curl route over there. AR, gets kind of tangled up and gets his ankle caught up. I'm glad he wasn't out for the game. I think they just took him out as precautionary measure and let Kitten play the rest of the game. I think he's a little banged up, but he should be healthy for that Missouri game. The ball was being spread around today. I thought that was great to see. A lot of guys getting the ball in their hands, getting the ball to our playmakers. Again, that just means the quarterbacks are seeing the field well. Again, I thought Naquan looked slow. He just doesn't have any power. He doesn't go over guys, kind of like ETN and Montreal do. I like that little running back pass to the flat. I think that could be really good in this offense with the type of backs that we have that can make a guy miss. I say Kitna has better touch, and I still stand by that. Feel better about the backup quarterback spot now. Yeah, I actually do. I think going forward, we're in good hands knowing Kitten is behind AR the rest of the season. I think he could perform well enough to win us a game. Um, Nene gets his touchdown, but against better competition on that play, I said he wouldn't have scored, and I truly believe that on that play where he ran to the left and scored. Missouri would have stuffed that next weekend, so I don't see that being there. Perkins needs more snaps at DB. Rotating it needs to stop. This was the game to rotate, which I'm okay with that. But I've seen a lot of rotation, just like the running backs. That it needs to stop, man. If you got guys that are talented enough and in shape, they should be able to play the majority snaps. You don't have to rotate a guy every other play. But I think Perkins needs to see the field more. He made a nice open field tackle. It's got to be another playbook scheme type thing where he's adjusting to it, but he just looks more talented to me than some of the other guys in his spots. I think he's better than Trevez. Um, Bernie cramped up during the game. Again, I made a note of that. Our guys were cramping up. I mean, we're the Gatorade, the creators of Gatorade. I don't see how guys are cramping up, especially this time of year. The weather's pretty nice. It's still hot out there, but it's definitely cooled off some. At home, like I said, home field, not having to travel. These guys shouldn't have looked as sluggish as they did at times. Um, I feel like we were giving too much space on the defense again. We talked about that, just giving up a lot of big plays, giving a big cushion in the secondary. Just not a big fan of that. Still kind of reminds me of Grantham. The reverse to Persall, finally. Guess what? It worked. Hasn't been there all year. Don't know why. We gave it to Hendo. It was the same play we ran to him that got stuffed at the one, like a 1 yard gain. He just makes more plays than Henderson. Dude is crazy fast. I mean, he just turned it on. The dude had a good angle on him at the end of that run. He should have been tackled, but that guy is a straight burner. I mean, he turned the Jets on and he was gone. I think he could have went from the went 100 yards on that run. Nobody would have caught him. He's that fast. McMillan. I said McMillan looked great at safety. I thought he was a big thumper back there. I mean, he was laying the wood down, just hitting guys left and right. Um, so him and Kamari did a good job. We got the fumble on defense. We were starting to tighten down a little bit as the game went on. I thought the defense did start to get a little bit better. Um, keeping our defense off the field is key to our success. I think the more our defense is on the field, um, the worse it's worse for us. I mean, we just cannot get off the field on defense. So keeping those, scoring quickly, in my opinion, I know Billy wants to play ball control, but man, we got to put up points with this defense. It's going to be shootouts every game. I feel like that's the only way we're going to win these games. Whitmore on the wheel route looked really good. Lays out, has great hands, good extension. These guys all had to really lay out and stretch out to catch balls from AR today. I think it helps us having a lot of length and tall, lanky receivers. Almost, a lot of people say we need those burners to get separation. I do think that would help. But just this year alone, until he gets his accuracy down a little bit more and becomes a better thrower of the football, I actually think it works to our advantage to have guys that are longer at that wide receiver spot because they made some really difficult catches today. Three different receivers with them touchdowns at that point in the game. Um, 21 yards to Hendo, that over shoulder throw. AR on today. You're not the most accurate, but receivers are long, and that benefits him. I made a note of that. Watched Hopper. I talked about that already about the Hopper game against Georgia. D did settle down in the second quarter. Dexter misses an easy tackle off the edge. I feel like he's so overrated. He's just not as good as that 5-star ranking he had at a high school. He's just okay at best. EW's quarterback shook him on one of those plays up the middle. I mean, he had him right in his hands, just let him slip away. 35 points in the half. That was a key to the game for me. Just putting up a lot of points in the first half and scoring quickly. They checked that box. Wilson, Kamari, like I said, I think he acquitted himself nicely out there today. Made nice tackles, big hits in the game. Kamari looks better than Dean. Eastern Washington does have an air raid. It was a good test for our secondary. They're no joke throwing the ball. I mean, they can spread it around. A lot of guys out there on defensive line on the edge. Million, Rylan Powell played. Boone started the game. Like I said, I thought the safeties played good, and that the stats reveal that as well. Billy said the D was bend but don't break. Eastern Washington, good job moving the pocket. I thought I saw that during the game. That was smart against our defense, kind of wearing guys out sideline to sideline. The play design, they run some three tight end sets. I saw that during the game. So they had good play design. I mean, their coach has been there forever. They've got a successful program, so it wasn't a pushover FCS team that we played. But again, I thought we should have played better on defense. A lot of our linebackers just don't fill their gaps, except for Ventrell Miller. I think he's the only guy that knows how to do it on the team, and do it well. Secondary, Helm is a liability still. He slips a lot and just falls down. In all honesty, if you guys rewatch the game, look how many drops Eastern Washington had that were easy completions. We got lucky that they didn't score more points than they did. They were dropping passes hit right in their hands over and over and over, and their receivers were wide open. D's just got to do a better job against Missouri, or they're going to eat our lunch because they look like they were getting better and better as the year went on, especially in that Georgia game. If we play like that on defense and we're not able to score it like we have been the last two games, Missouri will beat us. Um, Missouri is also 5-3 against us. They have a winning record against the Florida Gators, just so you guys are aware of that. And then we had the AR pick, another turnover. Again, more picks than touchdowns, which is disappointing. Naquan also, I think he slips a lot running the ball. Dejon Reynolds gets a nice catch on a sellover route. Six wide receivers at this point in the third have caught a ball. Number two, Johnson, by far the best back. Offensive line's not getting a great push. We're better running on the edges than on the inside. 3 points halfway through the third quarter uh, for our offense. So I thought we lost a little momentum there and then picked it back up when Kitna came in. Tyreek Sapp needs more snaps moving forward. Should have fell on that fumble. Shouldn't have tried to pick it up and run. Young guy, mistake there. He should have just fell on the ball. I wish special teams were not a part of football because there's nothing special about our special teams. They're just a complete disappointment. I think we should completely remove the game changer tag that Billy Napier gave them because the only way they change the game is in a negative way. Just the worst special teams in the entire country by far, including FCS. I don't see how we get the amount of penalties that we do. We have the face mask by Pyburn on that one kickoff. So, yeah, I mean, special teams are just a wrap this year. There's no way we're going to improve there. It's been there every game. I don't want to see us return kicks, just fair catch everything, fair catch every punt, just forget it. I mean, until you get some better athletes in there, like a Eugene Wilson III in the high school class, that's just over with. We're done. Caleb Douglas, I thought he should get some more snaps. He looked good out there running routes. First touchdown as a Gator. Congrats to you, Douglas. Um, Again, 62-yard pass from Kitna. Ken can spin the ball. Three touchdowns in less than two plays per series, which is crazy. Seven people had caught a ball at that point in the third quarter. Summerall played well, I thought. Wingo got in the game. Twos played better than some of the ones. We already noted that. Love Napier developing the young guys. This game will do wonders for the rest of the season. And I really do. I think this game is going to be a big launching pad for us to build some momentum, especially going to that Missouri game. I think this is going to build some confidence for our team. I do predict, I predicted 50 something to 13 in this game, so it's 52 17, so pretty close there. I do think we beat Missouri next week. I think we'll get the W. I feel confident enough after watching this first part of the season, having a tough schedule, playing a lot of really good ranked teams. I think we're better than Missouri on offense, and I think that'll be the difference in the game. The defense will be able to get two stops in the game, no more than that. They'll score on us. But I guarantee if we can just get two full stops and put the ball in our offense's hand a couple more times than Missouri's, we win that game by a touchdown to 10 points. Jayden Hill was much needed. Man, we missed him. He looked good in this game. I thought Jayden Hill did well in coverage when he was in there. A little rusty, but again, it's his first game back. He was flying around, making some good tackles, open field tackles. So Jayden Hill, man, that's a key to our defense right there. He was the starter in the spring. He was one of the best corners besides Marshall in the spring. He was one of our starting corners before he got hurt last season. This kid's special, and I think as long as he can stay healthy, he's really going to help this team and this defense be more successful in the back end, which they have struggled, even though some people think they haven't. Christopher McClellan, to me, needs to play significantly more snaps. It's got to be something that between the ears he's not getting, I guess. To me, he looks better than Dexter and Big Dez. I think him and Big Dez could go either way depending on what the situation is on the field. But man, I like Chris McClellan out of the three of those guys. Probably my favorite defensive lineman on the team right now, and has the highest upside and the brightest future. Final note here, I did say a better team puts up 20 to 30 points today. The plays were there. Eastern Washington had a lot of drops. Coverage was suspect. Again, big win for the Gators. Big confidence and momentum booster going to the Missouri game. Really proud of our guys for doing what they were supposed to do today and showing up. Super exciting just to get to watch a blowout for once. You know, those haven't been easy to come by for us lately, the last few years. The Sanford game probably rings a bell there. But just happy. It was fun to be able to watch the Gators have fun today and actually, stomp somebody, a lesser opponent, and get back in over 500. So we'll talk about the Missouri game later this week, but I hope y'all had a good weekend. Go Gators.